Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. It's halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. We're all starting to get ready for Baltimore. It is going to be a massive game, I think, from all accounts, for the NFL, for the Detroit Lions, for the Ravens. Let's be honest. And as you can tell from today's thumbnail, maybe the Lions are doing a few things to get ready for that. How much would this impact just that game? I don't know. Maybe it would impact the rest of the season. But this is coming from our friends over at the perhaps the most prominent newspaper in Dallas, the Dallas Morning News. We're going to get into it during the main top of the day. Apparently, these two teams have talked for at least a day or two about a possible trade. Love to get your guys' thoughts on it because, you know what, to me, I'm not 100% sure why you would make this move, but the Detroit Lions must have an idea behind it. We'll get into that, plus a few other moves the Lions have made yesterday. Didn't want to do a separate video about it, but I think there are some strong indications why they would go out and do it. So anyways, before we get into all that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Trying to make that push, trying to make that move up the channel for 14,600 subs, and we are roughly 88 subs away from it. So if you have a half second of time, it won't cost a dime. Also, reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. I reside in Michigan. 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, see what I can do to help you out, make the process easier, save you time, save you money, everything in between. Again, numbers right on your screen, 269-998-2384. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going. We've got 4 headlines now today, and then we're going to spend a little bit more time on the main top of the day. Let's get into it. All right, Lions. Well, we'll start off with that. All right, now Lions add potential weapon with quarterback background. With quarterback background to practice squad's sideline report story by Michael Boland. So if you didn't see it yesterday, we'll bring you up to speed. The Lions have added a couple of dual threat players. One of them is Malik Cunningham. If you don't know the guy, it's all right. He's been around the NFL for a hot minute. Played with New England Patriots, signed with them as an undrafted free agent rookie. And what you do know is he's a wide receiver / quarterback. He's got some wheels. He's got some athleticism. He's got some abilities. He also played for the Baltimore Ravens back in the day on a limited basis. Lions brought him in, and it would seem to be the Lions brought him in with the idea that, hey, you're going to do everything you can these next 3 or 4 days in practice to prepare for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, if you are unaware, is perhaps the league's most explosive mobility dual threat quarterback out there. Yes, he can shred a defense with his arm. Yes, he can run them over with his feet. And the Lions, as most of us are probably painfully aware, have had some level of difficulty stopping mobile quarterbacks in the last few seasons. With all that being said, Cunningham comes in after being clocked with a 4.34 40-yard dash during his NFL Combine. A couple of impressive 10 and 12-yard splits at 1.51 seconds and 2.6 seconds, respectively. He has kind of transitioned into becoming a wide receiver at the NFL level, but still plays emergency quarterback roles with different teams. There's also been speculation in recent days that the 49ers may try to take CJ Bretheld, our emergency current number 3 quarterback, because of their situation. If that were to happen, the Lions, I wouldn't be mad about it, having a guy that can play wide receiver, play quarterback, and on the practice squad, it gives you some real flexibility. We'll have to see what shakes out, but it would be my initial opinion. You guys let me know your opinions as always, that they're bringing him in specifically to try to get ready for the Baltimore Ravens, or maybe just to improve the defense at stopping mobile quarterbacks. Could he maybe develop a little bit more into something? We'll have to wait and see as time reveals itself to all Lions fans. All right, next to the 5 headlines out, Lions must rectify their only mistake from this offseason. Here's how they can. Sideline report, story by Candace Pereira's. There's all sorts of speculation running rampant in the last 24 hours. Maybe you could say 48 hours. The Lions need to address the pass rush. We heard it all off season. I feel like we talked about it all last season. And now Candace Pereira is reporting what so many other sources are. They should have signed Zadarius Smith. They didn't sign Zadarius Smith. They should have addressed something more with the defensive end or pass rush in the draft. They didn't do that. You guys get it. I get it. But she is reporting that the Lions are looking at making some moves. She does mention trades, but she also says she does not have any specifics about it. In her opinion, and from her reports, she's also saying with this current question mark regarding Marcus Davenport that they are considering moving on a more permanent basis Mekhi Wingo, Pat O'Connor, or Alaquin Muhammad over to the defensive end spot. Anybody who's watched it understands last year, Wingo actually had some good games out there, good snaps and reps. Did he play as the big end all the time? No, but he did rotate in there. I actually was pretty impressed with him last week against the Chicago Bears. I thought he did a real good job. Pat O'Connor, we all get it. He is versatile. He's not really a defensive end. He's not really a defensive tackle. He's kind of a tweener. But is he another person that could go out there and play? 100%. And then Muhammad, all he's done since he's become a Detroit Lion is improve. MCDC loves him a ton. The coaching staff loves him a ton. To be fair, he's been one of our more higher graded pass rushing ends this season. Whether or not you want to take him out of the backup spot and put him in the starting spot, I don't know, but I would not be upset if they did it. I think he's earned the right, and the other part of it is, at the end of the day, this is a production-based business like any professional sport. Can you do it? Can you not do it? Well, that's going to determine a lot of things. Muhammad has been a real big boon for this team since his addition, and I would think maybe if we get some sort of news later today that Marcus Davenport is going to miss a game or something like that, which has not happened as of yet. I want to make sure we're clear on that Muhammad would probably be one of the guys to stand on up and get that spot. All right. Speaking of roster moves, now as we go to the next headlines, tight end Zane Zylstra placed on injured reserve. Detroit Lions add offensive line help to a 53-man roster. Story by Dave Burkett of Detroit Free Press. You guys already probably know my thoughts on Zane Zylstra. I love him as a pass catcher. I did not love him as a run blocker, and now you're probably not going to have to worry about him anytime soon, one way or the other. Lions are, unfortunately, Zylstra got hurt against the Chicago Bears on special teams, got carted off the field, and yes, they are going to make some moves because of it. Tristan Colleen is added to the practice squad. Off the practice squad to the 53-man roster. I already talked to you about Cunningham being added to the practice squad. The Lions also cut linebacker Monty Rice from the practice squad. If you're watching the live cast Sunday of the Bears game, I said, hey, after that special teams meltdown he had where he cost the team of 15-yard penalty, I did kind of joke around that might have been his last time with the Detroit Lions. It was kind of a boneheaded penalty, and apparently Lions, well, maybe it was because of that, maybe it's because of other stuff, but he's no longer going to be a part of the team. Zylstra's departure for the team to the IR, it does impact at least the pass catching abilities of the number 3 tight end. He's pretty good at that. Him, his brother, that's one thing they do well at the NFL level. The run blocking is what it is. We'll have to see what they fully do to replace some of the guys. But, hey, it's nice that they're adding another offensive lineman to the team because I do think that most fans would agree we'd become a little thin at that position, especially the backup. So, is what it is. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. ESPN analyst pushes pause on notion Lions offense is back after dominant win. Sideline report, Max DeMero with this one. You know, the Lions put up themselves a game out there. There's no way to debate that. Lions had one heck of a performance. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a part of it. I think you guys all get it. The Lions just, I mean, let's face it, they crushed the Chicago Bears. With that being said, there are some saying the Bears are just that bad, that the Lions really didn't do anything other than show up. I would respectfully disagree. You don't score 50 points in any level of football unless you're doing a lot of things right. The Bears, I thought, going into the season, we talked about on the show, I thought they would start showing some signs of age. I thought last year, towards the last quarter of the season, the Chicago Bears defense, which, hey, had been pretty vaulted, had done some good stuff. I thought you could tell they were getting a little bit older, a little bit slower, etc. And, you know, maybe early in this year, you can say that is happening. If you watch the Minnesota Vikings game at all, and I'm not saying many of you did, but if you did, you probably did pick up on that a little bit, that they're losing some speed. They were missing some players. Maybe you gave them an out on that. In regards to the Lions, though, I think maybe perhaps you got a second game in under your belt under John Morton's tutelage, game calling. Plus, let's face it, in any offense, the biggest 3 people, in my opinion, are your offensive coordinator. The first game against Green Bay, that's his first game out there. The second person, I would say, is probably your center. That was Ragnow's first game out there. Glasgow's first game out there as the starting center for the Lions. So 2 of your 3 big communication pieces for an offense are being replaced. It does take time for those guys to come on board. The third person being your quarterback. You know what? Jared Goff's been here for 5 years now. I get it. He didn't have to come up to speed. But now that you went from week 1 to 2, did you see a big improvement? Probably, and I'm guessing you're going to see that every week that goes by just to get a little bit more comfortable. ESPN came at the Lions, thinks that they're going to have a significant drop-off from that performance. It's going to be hard to replicate 52 points every week. So they're probably right in that regard. Is the mothership ESPN correct that the Lions just simply beat up on a weak defense in the Chicago Bears? Or what are your thoughts, Dude Crew? Do you think the Lions really do have an offense that's like the last 2 to 3 years, able to strike fear into any defense? I haven't done a complete breakdown of the Ravens. I've watched some stuff yesterday and today. The Ravens defense, while it has some strengths, I do not think it's as good as it has been in recent years, especially stopping the run. Here's the problem I have for ESPN or the Ravens. If you can't stop the run against the Detroit Lions, is it going to be an easy day for you? No, because not only do you not have success slowing down the yardage on the ground, but now we all get it. Jared Goff and this wide receiving core, if you give them any kind of separation on play action, they're going to eat you alive. They just simply have too many weapons. Goff, for all the detractors out there on that guy, here's what I can say. He's perhaps one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've ever seen. I've covered the NFL, specifically the Detroit Lions, since the late 80s. I just can't remember a time where I could say this guy completes 80% of his passes fairly regularly, goes a half without throwing a ball in the ground or throwing it away. It doesn't touch the ground. Goff, what we saw last year with him going, whatever it was, 18 out of 18 in a game, and then multiple other games where he went a first half or second half without throwing it incompletion, and now 2 games in this year, you're seeing it happen again. He might just simply be an accurate quarterback. Yes, he can't outrun anybody, but you know what? He puts that ball where it needs to go. At the end of the day, ESPN, are they right with this? I think they're probably more wrong with it, but you know how you disprove them? You go out there and just, keep putting up points, keep throwing completions to all the different receivers you have. And let's face it, between tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, the Lions are blessed with a ton of offensive talent. All right, like I said, we're only going to have 4 headlines today, so we can get over to the main topic of the day. Let's see how you guys give your thoughts on this. I'm not sure why you would make this move, but there are some thoughts behind it. Let's go over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, as you get to see from the thumbnail, this was not going to be the main topic of the day about, 45 minutes ago, but then I got confirmation of this story. If you don't know Tommy Magelson, so that probably means you don't pay attention to Dallas-based news very often. And being Lions fans, most of us wouldn't. But he is a long-standing reporter for the Dallas Morning News. He went out yesterday, maybe it was early this morning, somewhere in that time range, and said that he had become aware that the Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions had some level of communication about a potential trade. That potential trade would bring in a defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions. Now, why you would make the move for Maisie Smith, who used to play for the University of Michigan, I'll leave that for you guys to debate. We'll analyze it a little bit here in a second. For those who don't know, he's roughly 6'3.5", depending on who's weighing him, 330, 340 pounds. He is athletic, but he also hasn't really shown up at the level that the Dallas Cowboys like. The other part of it is, per the Dallas Morning News, they think the Dallas Cowboys, while they're not having a terrible start to their season, they're also in kind of a rebuild mode. They want more draft picks, draft capital. There are some suggestions that they might use some of that to make a package move next year. Who knows, man? We're so far away from the draft or anything else. Anybody who's got inside information what's going to happen next April, man, let me know, because I could probably make some money in Vegas. Well, that also being said, Cowboys enter the week, as you guys know, basically the same as the Lions, although probably not as optimistic about their upcoming, the rest of the schedule, the rest of the season as Detroit is. That also being said, I'm not sure what I think about this trade if it were to go down. I do think the Lions want to address the defensive line. I think everybody watching this show understands there's about a 0% chance that we're going to go after Max Crosby or some big name pass rushing monster guy. It's not Brad Holmes. But as the Dallas Morning News are reporting, they think this would be a low-grade move. They have some thoughts on there would be like a 7th or 6th round pick that the Dallas Cowboys would want to get in return. So let me throw this at you guys. Do you think Brad Holmes would make a trade for a 6th, 7th, or 5th round pick? I'd say history has proved to us, yes, that would happen. He does it fairly regularly, so I would understand that. So I guess that begs the real question. If you're the Detroit Lions, why would you make this move? You look when Aleem the Dream McNeil returns, you look at that defensive tackle position, it's pretty loaded for the Lions. Why would you add a 330 to 340 pound guy to it? Well, we've been talking for some time that the Lions might be looking at moving, Aleem McNeil out to defensive end. Could you do it now that he's slimmed down closer to 300 pounds? I think that is a possibility. Everybody understands Marcus Davenport is an injury waiting to happen. I also understand the Lions prefer bigger body defensive ends, somewhere in the range of 270, 280, 290 pounds. So moving McNeil out there would make some sense. I'll throw another thought at you guys. What about moving to a 3-4 defense? If you did make this trade, go ahead and get Maisie Smith. Smith, along with DJ Reader, along with Malik Williams, along with some of the other tackles we have, could now own that middle of the field. Now you allow Davenport, Barnes, Hutchinson to play basically big linebackers on the outside, stand up and tee off on opposing offensive tackles. Would you do this? Would you do it for a 5th round pick? Would you do it for a 6th round pick? And again, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. There's no confirmation from Tommy Magnuson that this is happening. He's just saying that he has become aware. Both parties had a conversation this week. He says it's either Monday or Tuesday that went down. So I would not be upset if the Lions did it. I think it would open up a lot of possibilities for the team as far as if you want to shift, play some sort of hybrid scheme on offense, on the defensive line and get after him. He's been there probably longer than I've been a reporter, so let that sink in also. The Dallas Morning News is also saying that, in their opinion, the Dallas Cowboys want to make some sort of adjustments, acquire more draft capital for next year. I get it. Maybe they shock everybody and finish with 9 wins, but I don't think that seems very likely. Although, then again, you look at the Washington Commanders, they're not exactly off to the best start, and they do not look like the team last year. I think the Philadelphia Eagles last year, they started 2-2 and then obviously went on a big run, won the Super Bowl. So I wouldn't write them off at all. The Giants in their division, don't look like they're world beaters. So I think the Dallas Cowboys actually have some level of chance to make the playoffs. Although that's my opinion. I don't really pay attention to them. If you're the Detroit Lions, though, we all get it. The Lions want to make everybody one-dimensional, want to shut down the run and force you to pass. You force people to pass, you know what? It's a little bit easier to play coverage. We'll see what shakes out with this, but it was at least something to get over to you guys. All right, I'm going to get over to you guys. We do not have a special guest of the day. Let me scroll to the top of the screen. Lions, they do like to rotate their defensive tackles around. I know some people say Mekhi Wingo's more of a defensive tackle than an end, but yet the Lions do play him a lot at end. Same with Pat O'Connor, Chris Smith. You guys get it. There's a laundry list of defensive tackles that in the past, I'd say at least 2 seasons or so, have played the big end for the Detroit Lions. If you acquire Smith, he is athletic. I don't think he fits the guy that plays end and tackle. He's probably going to be just a tackle if you were to acquire him. So who goes outside? Davenport has not been put on the IR. He hasn't been listed to miss a game. They didn't sign any defensive ends yesterday. That would at least tell me there's some level of belief that he's not going to be hurt, or at least very long. Also, that being said, Mazie Smith, man, he was a first-round pick. I would not be upset about it, but so far he has not lived up to the hype. Is that because of coaching in Dallas? Is that the scheme? Is he not a good fit there? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen and get to you guys. Give me a second. I'm still scrolling. I'm burning up the field. I'm running for the end zone, and here we go. Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation, one prime, woo, back at you. Till then, go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Albert Greer had a rune. All right, I'll go with that. Had a woo, I'll take that. All right, I was wondering where we were going with that, Bo. I was trying to figure that out and not having much success. But anyways, another guy fleeing Jerry. We'll find out if we can be fleecing him. How about that? Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. If it goes down, it better bring an edge rusher that's not made of glass. Speaking of which, any news on Davenport? No news that I've heard. Maybe that's good news. We do know a couple of days ago, MCDC said they were trying to get a second opinion. We talked about it yesterday. You typically don't get a second opinions if you like the first opinion. So, but they did not add a defensive end to the team yesterday. I would say that's a strong sign that maybe if he's out, Davenport, that he's not going to be out very long. Terry, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Who are we talking about getting? Question mark. I don't recognize person in the photo. And now you know, knowing is half the battle. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? Exclamation point. Back at you. Hookadoo. Jerry Jones is a real piece of work, Bo. All right. Hey, he's a businessman. Carrie, morning, everyone. And same to you. Hopefully it's good morning. Bo, early morning professor. Hey, the professor starts early, doesn't he? Hookadoo. Professor Steele is in the house. Yes, he is. Bo, that's one way of putting it, Hookadoo. Steve Rogers. If I see we signed a new quarterback to the team, is he any good? I'd be lying if I said I could speak eloquently about his quarterbacking abilities. I can't. I just haven't seen enough of him. He has played quarterback in the NFL. He's had some level of ability or success. I just haven't watched video to break him down and say, here's his strengths or weaknesses. He's mobile, and it does seem like the Lions are trying to get ready for a mobile quarterback. Bo Hookadoo, good morning. Bo, Kurt Steele said that. Bo, Steve, he's going to be a mobile punching bag for the D. Yeah, it could be accurate. Kurt Steele has a link. Branch said what Detroit Lions fans have been thinking about Ben Johnson. All right. Pat, so far so good with Davenport. I fully expect him to go on the IR yesterday. Yeah, I think a lot of us expect him to go on the IR. Didn't happen. Moonscar Blade, good morning. Duke Crew starting lineup. Exclamation point. Big Monday night matchup. This game will tell us how much we've grown as a franchise. Let's get healthy. Let's get healthy. Stay healthy. I think all Lions fans want that. Hookadoo. And a great grit-filled morning carry. There you go. Kurt Steele, check out my latest article on Sideliner Sports. We will do that. Tori, morning. Oh, who's the possible trade pickup? Now you know. Yeah, Mazie Smith, former U of M. Hoodoo, the master of grip, Moonscar, good morning. Exclamation point. Central Scrutinizer, good morning. Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you. 5 fingers ready. We need to go into Baltimore Monday and earn a statement victory. I like the way you're thinking. That would send a message to the fan base we have. In my opinion, many have jumped ship. I will agree with you partly on that. I think the excitement for the team this year has been less than it's been the last 2 or 3 years. Maybe it's just because everybody is getting kind of commonplace with the Lions now being good versus being bad. Or maybe 2-3 years ago, we hadn't seen this franchise be solid in a while. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I trust in Brad and Dan. Whatever they feel is best for our team. Yes, indeed. Bo, Scotty Montgomery, I thought you were fast to JMO. Okay. Silver Server, good morning, coach, and all the Lions fans. Hey, got a lot of Lions fans, don't we? Central Scrutinizer. Time to show the Ravens no mercy. It's payback time for what goes around comes around. I'll take it. Let's get a win. Man, we get that win. Then you get Cleveland. Then you get Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati. Cincinnati does have a very good backup quarterback. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I went in and tried to watch him a little bit. I don't think he's bad at all. So small long. I agree with you regarding that. Five Fingers Freddy. Carrie, Maisie Smith, it is. Susan Scott, good morning, Duke gang. I just doubt highly Holmes will ever make a big splash move. Low level, Dollar General only. Yes, I think we all agree. He is Dollar General Brad. Look at it. Five Fingers ready. Are we going into Baltimore and give the Ravens a finger in the middle finger and show the NFL we are real? Let's prove that we are real. Let's win by at least 1 point. Just greetings and salutations, Duke Crew. Carrie, I think that is Smith. What in the heck would we trade for the defensive tackle? Well, you heard my thoughts now. Maybe it's just so you can move somebody out to the big end and the defensive line. Maybe it's to play more of a 3-4. I don't know. I guess both could be true. Anymore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Good to see you, Henry. As always, Silver Server, Troy Apple, Maisie Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan. Freak of nature, supposedly, but don't produce. Doesn't produce. He had some problems, meaning carrying one without a license. Dang guns. All right. Guess there could be worse things. Man Bear, greetings, salutations, all! Exclamation point. Drake, so Hutch wants his boy to come home. Question mark. Hutch is a new assistant GM. Could be some level of truth that he probably does have some, ability to talk to Brad Holmes about things. Although I don't think Brad Holmes is going to listen to any of the players. Maybe I'm wrong. Kurt Steele, Drake Lisbon, laughing out loud. Don Maisie here would resurrect his career here. No doubt in my mind, Dallas is a welcoming place for guys who don't come in and immediately skyrocket. Exclamation point. Some guys take longer to get their feet moving in the NFL. Yeah, a lot of truth to that, Don Bird. I really do like the new thumbnail. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Morning, Man Bear and Duke Crew. Maybe we are trying to add more rotation. That could be it. Leonard, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. I feel a win coming on Monday if we can keep Lamar on the bench and score touchdowns while in the red zone. Yeah, 100%. If the Lions can do what we've seen in 2 games this year, control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, offensively move the ball down the field and score, it does put more stress and pressure, obviously, on the Baltimore offense. I know I talked about it earlier, probably talk about it more the rest of the week. The Baltimore defense, it has some real nice pieces. I just think it's not quite what it once was. JC, greetings, salutations, Coach and Crew, exclamation point, back at you. Silver Server, Just Land, and that's a big if, you can get him for a 6, and all of a sudden he changes completely the course of his career and produces in line with his physical potential, jackpot. Yeah, it would be a jackpot. It's a roll of the dice, but a low level. I mean, even if you gave up a 5th-round pick or something like that, I don't think anybody would complain too much. Michael, I just want to say thank you, Coach Dan, for Sunday. That was the best play-by-play commenting I've seen on YouTube. Hey, anytime, man. I enjoy doing it, so, I'll do it again Monday, I'm sure. Bo, Stephanie, that's so we can contain with an exclamation point. Ooh. Look at it. Morning, Stephanie Water. Don't you have a fight coming up? I believe she does. I don't remember when, but I know it's sometime soon. It's Jennifer. Morning, all. Back at you. Silver Server, Just Lynn. A good Maisie would provide an incredible push. Subbing for Reader, Tyleek Williams, and would really wear O-linemen down and insurance against injuries. Fatigue, Liam unknown. It would be great. Yeah. Now, can he make it happen? I guess we'll see. Jim, run the ball, score, and contain for 60 minutes Monday. Exclamation point. I like the way you're thinking. I say, Madly, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew, and all fans watching Lions Talk Live, and all my friends. Hey, hopefully having a good afternoon in Cairo. Hopefully it's real good weather for you. Stephanie, I do. Huggadoo. Jason, I'm not exactly sure what to expect Monday, but test is an understatement. Go Lions. Exclamation point. Good to see you, Jason. Treat the tree well and show it some kindness. France, I won't be mad at this level of trade. Add some depth, allows some flexibility on line. It would indeed. Until we need a Hassanin back and playing 20% of the snaps. Exclamation point. We're probably about, I'm guessing, you're somewhere around 2 months away from that. Carrie, I completely agree with Silver Surfer. Jess, yes, Jason, we need that to pass that test too. I concur. Silver Surfer, Carrie is strong with a cat. Big Eddie, Coach, exclamation point. Your boy Houston is looking good in Dallas. Are we getting him back? Man, maybe that would be the trade, huh? Throw in Maisie Smith and James Houston, bring them back to the Detroit Lions. Bo, good day, Madley. Exclamation point. Mr. Hassan, and a good afternoon, sir. Can we expect Ahmed back anytime soon? I really want to see him back on the field. Soon as he can legally come back to the Lions would be week 9. Let's see, Hassan Mandy, Mr. Attila the Hun, Ahmed Hassan working hard physically to get back soon. Thank you. Hey, no, thank you for all you do. Jim, TA needs an interception in the first drive to stop the targeting. Yeah, I get everybody has their own opinions on it. I can only tell you my opinion, and my opinion doesn't have to be yours. I thought he played pretty well against the Bears. He should have had 2 interceptions. Obviously, one was taken away from a flag. The other one, give the wide receiver credit. Wide receiver understood he's going to pick off that Paul. He basically tackled TA. Sir, Hassan Matty, good day, sir. Hope you had a good lunch. Yeah, it is about that time. Trim Raber, good morning, Coach Dan and the Mighty Duke crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Back at you, Trim. Moose Carblade, good morning, Hookadoo. Miles Marker, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. As always with you. Big Eddie, do we do what we got to do to win it? No more second place. Hey, I'm in it to win it this year if I'm running the show. Hassan Matty, Mr. Server, I got Mike Florio sandwiches. There you go, falafel. Let's see. Server, I really like your thoughts on Maisie. There, I concur. Big D, Grit Morning Crew. Coach Tiny K, hey, Coach and Duke Crew. And hey, back at you, Mr. Morale 313. What up, though, Dan and the infamous Duke Crew? How you doing? I love the thumbnail as always, man. Always. Southwest, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Woo! Go Lions. Good to see you, my friend. It feels like it's been a few days. Coach Rock, good morning, all. And grit to you, Hookadoo, and Stephanie, too. Yes, and I don't know what Stephanie's fight is. I just know it's soon. King SJ, greetings, salutations, Coach of Duke Crew. Go Lions. Good to see you, my friend. Southwest, beat the Ravens. I like the way you're thinking. Let's make that happen. Miles Marcus, so yummy. Hassan Madley. Hi, Mr. Hookadoo. Good morning. Kurt Steele, guess what day it is? What day is it? It's the middle of the weekday, I guess. Oh, hump day. Yeah, I see the camels. Right. Pierce, need to make a move now if DDI is out for an extended period of time. Yeah, nothing confirmed. The only thing I can say is it's been good news so far that they haven't signed another defensive end. Mary Smith, good morning, Duke Crew. DM5, good morning, Coach Dan. Goes Cheapo Brad Holmes, make a move for an edge. Depends on how you view it. Maybe Maisie Smith can play edge for us. See, Drew, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point, let's go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Dre Day, I'm probably in the minority, but the team is assembled perfectly for what the coaching staff wants. I would agree with that. There's a lot of truth there, Dre Day. Let's see, unless there are new injuries, no need to add any other players to the team. Yeah, I would say this, just keep this in mind. GMs in any sport, they talk fairly regularly with other GMs about potential moves. I often refer to the movie Moneyball. You see, I don't remember the guy's name, but the main character, Brad Pitt or whatever, talking to GMs all the time. That is a normal day in the life of GM. When I would be a GM or when I would report on different teams, I would say probably 6 days out of 7, you have some level of conversations with other teams about potential moves. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's more. Don Kong, super robust, even with only one defensive end. Hey, let's make that a good defensive end then. Hookadoo, good morning. Mousberger, I'm thinking in grit rules the day. The grit does rule the day with an exclamation point. And woo! I'll take that. Rock. Mentioned that Rice would get cut after that boneheaded penalty he took on that kick, and Chicago scored a TD afterwards. Not a good first impression. No, I agree with you. I mean, watching it go down, I didn't see the full play. I just saw part of it. And I remember mentioning on the live cast with everybody, yeah, that might be his final opportunity with the Lions. Michigan Panther Pride, what's up, y'all? Good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Kurt, it's Thursday Eve. There you go. Michigan Panther Pride, yes, sir. Silver Hookadoo Madly, that must be delicious. Egyptians know food. I worked for Egyptians. I delivered food. Okay. Thomas, I want to be wrong. Exclamation points. I pray I'm wrong on this game. Ravens win, but we make the playoffs 12-5. Okay. Hookadoo Rock and Mary Smith, the queen of grit. Good morning. And back at you both. Coach Rock, good morning, Kurt. Good morning, Rock. Silver, Hookadoo, okay. DM5, Lions need to score over 35, maybe 40. Might be true. Yeah, it could be a high-scoring game. Brian, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, go Lions. And same to you, my friend. Good morning, Coach Rock. Seems like Ziltra and Davenport trained together. Might be accurate. They are Lions, so yeah, they would train together. Michigan Panther Prime, I realized I was on the MPPP count. Gotta do a fast identity change like Dan O'Damas. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Dan O'Damas is all wise and all knowing. Mary Smith, Hookadoo Rock, Professor Steele, and my queens of Lions Talk Live. Good morning. Good to see you, Mary, as always. Silver Reserve, Mary Smith, good morning. Kurt Steele, DM5 TV, agreed. Jonathan, good morning. Dre Day. The new culture of I'm going to speak negative and say at the end, let me be wrong. Hi, at its finest. Let's see. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the world famous new crew. Woo! Exclamation point. Mary Smith, good morning, Silver Servers. Kurt Steele, Mary Smith, good morning. Miles Marker. Oh, we are aware, Dan. Ravens slapped us all over the field last week. They did. Now, hey, what do you do? How much have you improved? All that we'll find out. Hassanin Madley, Mr. Big Eddie, good morning. I like Ahmed Hassanin shirt closer to your name. Thank you, sir. Well, all right. Thomas, we must channel Jackson with someone quick in passing downs. We're not getting to Jackson with 4. All right. Carrie, good morning, Queen Mary. Vincent E, good morning, Coach Dan and the new crew. Back at you, DM5. John Morton needs to call plays that create mismatches. Open up the playbook this week and let it roll out. We need this game, a real test on Monday night. Let's make it happen. Yeah, let's not hold back like we did against Chicago. Coach Rock, and a good morning to you, Hassanin. Mary Smith, Gary, good morning. Big D, Muhammad could pull his weight. He could. Kurt Steele, AQM has been balling. He has been. He's played very well. I think you especially watch the first 2 game tapes on him. He's had a lot of one-on-ones, and he's taken advantage of it. Lauren, Wingo, and AQM both have improved. They have, man. They have. And I think, especially with Wingo, he's going to get more in shape, back in football shape, I should say. You're going to see him produce more and more. Michael, so a mobile quarterback running for his life to the sidelines is considered a threat? Yeah, it could be. Coach Rock, good morning, Mary. It's great to have your grit this morning. Isn't it always? Thomas, face it, there is no one on this roster who can create enough pressure to come close to Hutch. We need to admit that. Muhammad, I love his attitude and tenacity, but he's not long-term. All right. See, Kurt Steele, my wife is from Baltimore. All of my in-laws are Raven fans. Well, sorry for your having to deal with that. Coach Rock, Miles Meyer, bringing it this morning, and can you believe this weather, great football weather? Woo! I'll take that. Big D. Donner, what would you do? What would find out? Mary Smith, Rocky, thank you, but to all of us bringing grit this morning. Yes, everybody is bringing the grit this morning. Charles, woo! Hey, who doesn't like to move? Silver Star, Coach, you already know what kind of a fan I am. Those terrible old ones, I was afraid he'd fold. Morton against Bears, and the Lions would plummet. I was happy for the team, and Johnny Morton, he needed this. Hey, I don't think he was doubting himself, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he was. He really did have a pretty good performance. So did the team. Coach Rock, Kurt wouldn't want to bring you this week. Laughing all out, stand your ground for the Duke crew. Woo! Yes, indeed. Hookadoo, Kurt, you need to disown your wife's side of the family. Hey, maybe he already has. Thomas, where are we at with Davenport? Anyone know? Smash that like. Yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you would, please. And no updates officially as of yet. Big D, woo! I like the way you're thinking. James, why didn't they simply switch Davenport and Muhammad? I think Muhammad is a better pass rusher than Davenport. It's a good question, James. The only thing I can say is what we've seen in 2 games, like we've seen in the past, the Lions seem very committed to collapsing pockets, not really just asking the ends unless it's an obvious passing down. So we'll just say on first and second down, they want to just push the pocket in, push the tackles in, create a horseshoe around the quarterback, try to not give him any lanes to run through. And then on obvious passing downs, they unleash him a little bit more. So maybe Davenport fits that better. It's also why if they do move, say, Aleem, McNeil, or somebody else out there, it would make sense to me just because Aleem's going to be able to put a whole lot of pressure on a tackle and just physically move them more than most defensive ends. Coach Rock, let's see, Kurt Steele, Coach Rock, Hookadoo, it was rough in 2023. I bet it was. Kerry, key to Ravens game pressure, Jackson continually. All right. Lauren, Amara was part of it. He got 3 TDs. He did get 3 tutties. On DM5, Big D, I would call all 31 other teams to see who's available at edge. Davenport is fragile like a glass light bulb. Miles Meyer, it was fun to see Amara St. Brown seem and play a running back that one play. He did it a couple of times against Chicago. It's kind of old school like he did his rookie year. Thomas, Big D, Brad blew it, exclamation point. That's the issue. I would have already done it, sign Z. There's got to be a reason why he didn't sign Z. And I'm guessing it's probably more than what we know currently. Z wanted something that the team didn't want to give. I don't know. He wanted to be the starter, and maybe the Lions said, yeah, we can't promise that to you. You got to earn it. I mean, I'm speculating. I have no idea. Big D, I agree. Devin Hurt can't stay healthy. If he was put in a rubber ball, and I agree, reach out and make a move. We'll see if they will. Sounds like they are kicking some tires. The Dogs agree. Don Burr, the Bears took a Brian Flores defense to the wire. We just had to impress showing Sunday, and happens. We had a bad showing versus Green Bay. It happens. Yeah, and I do agree. Like I already said a lot that earlier in the show, that I think when you look at the fact that the three big things that you have in communication with any offense is your OC, your quarterback, and your center, and two of those were brand new to the Lions to some level against Green Bay in a hostile environment. It makes a lot of sense why they didn't perform better. I believe that they're going to get better and better with that. The Thanksgiving game, who knows? I'm not going to say we're going to win, but I think we'll look much improved over the first game. Southwest Davenport, shake my head. We'll shake your head. Silver Server, James Allen Muhammad is good as a situational pass rusher. If you start being on the field the whole game against those 320-pound offensive linemen, it is a different story, perhaps. We'll find out. Hookadoo, Kurt, I hate the Ravens since Art Modell messed over Cleveland. Yeah, probably a lot of people in that boat. Big D, Donner, I agree, but now we need to move on and get someone. Yes, indeed. Can't live with the past. Johnny L, dang it. I overslept, but good morning, folks, and good to see you, my friend. Moonscar, well, duh, exclamation point, it's the NFL, and now we play Baltimore. Of course, we won't put up 50. No, let's try for 60. You gotta get better, right? From game 1 to game 2 to game 3, you gotta show consistent improvement. Southwest, so everybody should score over 50 on the Bears. We're just that good. We are just that good. When we beat Baltimore on Monday, it would be an excuse then also. There's always an excuse for someone, isn't there, Don? Dre Day, ESPN said preseason they would be number 2 in the division. Now they are weak. Pure clickbait. Probably true with that. Thomas, as far as the defensive end, I hope Cincinnati now tanks with Burrow out at trade deadline. Try and work a deal for Trey. And, maybe they will. Big D, Moonscar, I bet we put up 30. Let's hope for 30 in the first half. Told on ESPN, it's just mad that their narrative come true. They were hyping Chicago and Ben Johnson. They were, and now a lot of people aren't. James, does anyone know when Ahmed Hassani returns to Lions active roster? It can't be sooner than week 9. So that I do know. Now, will he be ready for week 9? We'll see how he recovers. Leo, we can run on Baltimore easy. I think so. I mean, they're going to overcommit. They have to stop the run because you can't just let a team own you on the ground. But the other part of that is, now you can run play action. Now you've got a lot of weapons you can take advantage of. Don Burt, nothing is easy in the NFL. I agree. Coach Rock, Johnny L, glad to see you. You was thinking about sending a search team. The Big D, Donner, that would be ideal, but Penny Holmes won't make that move. All right. Moonscar Blade, Big D, we better because we are going to have to go on the road there. Here we are. Free for all. Love the 52 points, but I was disappointed they got 21. And it happens. Sometimes you got to be kind to your guests, right? Thomas, Big D, we better put up 30. Ravens will score 28 plus. Hookadoo, you need sleep, Johnny L. We got your back. You'll get your grit. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Until then, Lions can put up 30 or to 40 on Baltimore. Just need to keep them from scoring as much. I agree with that. Your defense got to show. Big D, agree with you both. Thomas, free for all, 100%. Mary Smith, you're not late. Johnny L, good morning. You were right on time to serve us with that gritty grit. DM5 2 years ago, we scored 6. Hey, let's see if we can improve on 6. Matt, hey, new season. It is, and with an exclamation point. It is a new season. Don Burr, just win money. I don't care if it's 14 points. All right, yeah. At the end of the day, that's all you're worried about. Can you get the win? Moonscar, stop the run and slow limit Lamar's effectiveness. Let's make it that easy. I'll tell the last Chicago TD was a garbage time. They only scored 14 when it counted. Yeah, probably some truth to that. Such a scrutiny is exactly Don. No easy games in the NFL. Never are, man. Never are. Silver Server, I have a feeling something wasn't so tuned in between Z and the Lions coaching staff. Not sure they thought he'd fit with the whole new way of bringing the team forward. Could be wrong. Yeah, could be wrong. Maybe in time we find out a more firm answer to that. Right now we're all speculating. Coach Rock, Mary, you always say the right things. She does, doesn't she? Matt, good to see y'all for a new year. Good to see you, my friend, as well. Moonscar Blade, Jordan Rule, engage, maybe. Ronnie, has ESPN checked the stats on the team stats for the Ravens defense? I don't know if they have. I can't answer that one. Michael, we're not in 2023, DM5 TV, laughing out loud. This is true. It is 2025. Pierce, don't need another defensive tackle. I would be surprised if we do it, but maybe they got a plan in place if they do it. Hookadoo, that's the bottom line. Don Burr, exclamation point, just freaking win. 100%. Lauren, that's a big dude. Yeah, 6'4", 330 pounds. Yeah, and he could be more than that. Let's be fair. Thomas, Donner, 100%, but our D is not holding to the Baltimore Ravens under 25. Maybe. I got to believe we're going to try, though. Tell James Allen, week 9 at the earliest. I think you are right with that, Attila. Hey, Thomas, let me guess. You hope you are wrong, huh? Well, it might be. I'm hoping he is wrong. Shay, hey, man, talk about somebody I haven't seen. Hot second. Maisie is the way to say it. So, thank you for that. Went to school with him. Was huge as a freshman, benching 305. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's a weak person. Till then, 37-27 Detroit prediction. Let's unleash the pain on him. Mr. T reference. DM5T, Michael, just saying that won't cut it this time. We got to score 35-40. Let's do it. Let's score 50 by halftime. Big D, another defensive tackle. Will blow my freaking top. All right, we'll blow your top. Let's see. Pierce Carl Lawson would be perfect. I will take a peek. Thomas, yes, I do. Exclamation point. But I am the realist. I don't live in the clouds. All right. How about the clouds? All right. Dr. Detroit, laughing all out. It's not Brad Holmes. Say everything. Yes, indeed. Until then, clouds or clowns. How about clowny clouds? Down here. Pierce, I think we could use a defense tackle who could penetrate. Yeah, penetration would be nice. Aleem McNeil could do that. I think Wingo can do that, but I don't know how often you'll get DJ to do it. Tyreek, I think, has more athleticism than we realize, but he's still a rookie. It's going to take time. Sir, come back, Vaki! Exclamation point. I would really like to see what you can do on the field. You give him time. Hopefully he gets healthy. Dre Day, you're a pessimist. You live with doubt. It might be true. Kerry, Don Burkett. All right. Jay, I think we have a good chance at the W if you can check the game stats from last weekend against the Browns. Stat-wise, the Browns did very well, just didn't get the points to go with it. Yeah, they moved the ball. They just didn't score, per your point, Jay. That was that too, exclamation point. Johnny L., I'm just going to listen in today. I'm just not feeling too good today, but I'm going to be here. Hey, we'll cheer you on and feel better, my friend. James Mason Smith is a pretty good defensive tackle. Already doesn't fit in the Cowboys scheme. It could be that. I hate referencing, stuff I did as a coach, but I can remember like one of my first head coaching jobs. There was a dude on the team, end of the bench type player, right? Got, this is for basketball, by the way. First year there, by the end of the year, averaged a triple-double. So just the system fit him more. Pierce, Don Burr, good morning, dude. I agree, but we are super, super at a thin edge. Might be, but I think, Pierce, if you're going to make this move, you probably got ideas for moving somebody else over the edge. That's at least my guess, man. Who knows? Michael, definitely got to turn the tables on Ravens for sure. Now DM5, I like the way you're thinking. Don Berg, Kerry, what? Well, question mark. We'll find out. Moonscar Blade, we like a little junk in the trunk. Okay, Big D. Did you guys see the Saturday morning inspection on Pierce Jr. for the Falcons? What we passed on. We didn't pass on him. He just got selected before we could get to him. I think, what's his name? Brad Holmes did talk about Lions tried to make a trade up, but somebody leaped them. We can assume what that trade was for. I don't know what the trade is for. My belief is it was for Junior, though. Coach Rock, with the running backs we have, why are we taking a chance at running St. Brown back there? It's just, part of what they do. Just no different than St. Brown's rookie year. DM5, if you buy cheap, you get what you pay for. When will cheap Brad Holmes learn? Well, I don't know, but, he's hit on a lot of mid to late round picks. So, I guess that's what we can say. Hasley Malley, Mr. James Allen today, he will see his doctor. Praying for him. I will know, but he is still with a healing program. I think by week 11, by God. All right, hopefully sooner. Hey, we'll find out whenever they approve him. Don Burr, Pierce, I agree, but we always think at edge. Yeah, we always think about the edge. Don Burr, not this thin. Bo, The Shep flex defense, oh yeah, we'll find out. Maybe he's got an idea in place. Until then, if you average some of the top edges, they are about 6'3", 6'3.5", 255. We don't have to have 6'5", 280. All right, we'll go with that. We're going to just jump in if you're feeling better. Johnny L, 100%. King SJ, not sure how long Smith is signed for, but from the depth standpoint, think this DJ Reader final year. Yes, it is his final year of the contract. I believe not saying Smith is Reader. Correct with that. Don Burr, we picked up Tyler Lacey and Tyrus Wheat. Both haven't seen the field. Not as of yet. Mary Smith, Johnny L, I did pass that bug to you. Hope you feel better. Get some of my rest, brother. There you go. Our version of the main, trading a 6th-rounder for a 2-year removal, 26 overall, isn't a bad move in general. Maybe a change would get him closer to his draft scouting. Yeah, I think that we're all on the same page with that reversion. Kerry Don Burr, it was kids saying we could run easy. We'll find out. Kurt Steele, Lions played a bunch of defensive tackles versus Chicago. We did. And it does seem like in recent years, we've done that more and more. The Rumble, good morning. Coach Dan and the Duke Group, back at you. Rock, M. Smith is a good defensive tackle. Must be thinking 3 down lineman, or it's just another Smith name. Might be. And then on obvious passing downs, maybe take out some of them, put in, like Derek Barnes, like you saw Sunday. He played a lot of defensive end on obvious passing downs. Big D, Maisie was 26 overall. I think that's right. Don't hold me to it. I don't have it in front of me. Donberg, Carey, gotcha. Laughing out loud. Thomas, why is it we all constantly talk about another defensive end? Because Brad's not getting it done. Our pass rush is not what it needs to be. Could we get better? Yes, but someone tell me how. All right, we'll find out. And again, I've offered my thoughts. I think to some level, the pass rush isn't as we want better because that's not what the coaches are asking him to do. Go back and watch the Green Bay game, watch the Chicago game, watch just about every game last year. And first and second down, unless it's like 1st and 50, they're not asking the defensive ends to just go after the quarterback. They're asking him to collapse the pocket. So that could be part of it. Pay Banks, tough schedule or not, we not the same offensive line. Lions, we just got to stand our business when we face contenders. We wasn't ready for the Ravens last year, but this year I believe they won't be ready for us. Here you go. Well, yeah, I'm down with that. Although, do we face the Ravens last year? I don't remember. One God, is it true that they cut Monty Rice from the practice squad? They did cut him from the practice squad. And I talking about on air during the game, you made that boneheaded penalty. Yeah, probably not good for your future. Tug, Silver, if you think Vaki would make a difference on this team, let us know. I don't understand the talent. Yeah, I like him. I don't know if he'd make a huge impact, but I do think he's probably the heir apparent for the Craig Reynolds spot. Number, if we don't have a penetrating defense tackle, we have run stuffers, Lopez, Tyleek, DJ Reader. Correct with all that. Mary, one God, yes. Big D, 443 watching, 100 likes. Let's go. Yeah, if you guys can hit the like, subscribe, all that stuff. Courtesy of Boss Up Podcast today at 8. We'll see you there. The Rebel, I like Smith a lot. Who doesn't like Smith a lot? Let's see, Jonathan, if you think Brian Burns would be available, I do think he's going to become available. I think there's going to be a couple of people in the next, say, month and a half that become available. Are you able to get them? That's the bigger question. Do they fit what you want to do as a coaching staff? I can only tell you guys what my eyes see. I could be completely wrong. I just don't think the Lions coaching staff has any interest in a guy who basically his primary purpose on 1st and 2nd down is getting to the quarterback. They want to shut down the run and collapse the pocket. That's what I see. I've been wrong before, though. Server, if Lions show up with confidence, belief, determination, and no complex of inferiority, then I really believe they could take Baltimore. But if Detroit has to see them in the Super Bowl, then I'd rather lose this. All right. I'm not sure why everybody thinks that we can't win. I mean, I'd love to hear you guys' analysis, why so many of the fan base seems to think, man, you can't beat Baltimore, or really seem on edge about it. I don't know. I just don't think these players, these coaches have any kind of thought process like that. But clearly in the fan base, a lot of us feel like, man, I don't know about this. And I just don't have that opinion. Central School, I know pass rush, question mark. Did you watch last Sunday's game? Maybe not. Maybe we'll find out. One God, what up, Duke Crew? What's up? Let's see, James Allen, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, same to you. Coach Ryan, Thomas, the players we got now need to turn up the grid and get to the quarterback or practice. Hey, practice indeed. Big D, Burns would be a good pickup if it's possible. It would be. It would be nice. Mary Smith, Professor Steele, thumbs up. Don Burr, have you seen Brian Burns' contract? Not happening, right? Maybe. I don't know his contract. Thomas, Don Burr, Lopez was getting pushed around against Chicago. Could be. Miles Ware, Grit Morning, Hoogadoo, always good to see you in the chat, bro. DM5, Don Burr, before this year, I never heard of Roy Lopez. That says it all right? Pierce Don Burr did some digging on Brady Chubb. Also not happening. Yeah, he's got a pretty good contract, I think. Don Burr, mostly his contract. All right. Unless maybe the only thing I could say is maybe the host team or the current team for either one of those guys, maybe they agree to pay X amount of the contract and maybe that makes it more viable. Big D, our rookie Williams looks good. Great though. He does, man. I think he's looked real good so far in 2 games. Dre D, fans want things to happen the flashy way with an edge on the outside, rushing the quarterback for sacks, but that's not how the coaches want their defense to run. I would agree with that 100%, Dre Day, 100%. Don Burr, we're just throwing names out there without looking into contractual obligations. Might be. Silver, it's a lot about that first kick, that first snap. How is Detroit going to be? Who's bringing it immediately? Well, if they're not bringing it, then they probably don't last in the NFL. Thomas, we must face it. Davenport is not going to last the season. Better prepare soon. Okay, Johnny Gas Sports. Good morning, Duke Crew. Pierce, Don Burr. Miami will be sellers. Hence, I did some homework on the Brady Chubb. All right. Yeah, and the question would be, is whatever team that's removing the player willing to absorb part of that contract? I think that could happen with a couple. Mobile quarterback, you say? I do, the Rebel. Charles, some people, same damage. Yep, indeed. Same people, same damage. Don Burr, Pierce Chubb, yes, he isn't worth paying, but he fits because he's injured a lot. Brad loves injured guys. Might be a level of truth to that. Mary Smith, Johnny Gaz, good morning. Pierce, Don Burr, main reason I did the homework, injury history check box. All right? All right, we got about 4 minutes left, so I'm going to power through, get some people on who haven't been on as much. Central Scrutinizer Davenport is injury prone, proves in the pudding. However, you don't make the NFL if you're not if you're made of glass. Yeah, if you make it to any professional level, you've done something to earn it. Now, Davenport, we all get it. He hasn't stayed healthy a lot. You know, the reasoning why behind that, I don't know, man. The Rebel, I would love to go into Baltimore and whoop on the Ravens and Lamar, exclamation point. Josh, how about the rookie Tesla? Question mark. First 2 targets, 2 spectacular one-handed catches. How much more do you see him getting involved in? What games does he get some real targets his way? That's going to come down to the coaching staff. I think they're making him earn his way. I think we all agree the kid's got some talent. At some point, he'll be unleashed. AM5, Brad Holmes has to do better, period. His fleet market dollar store mentality is evident with Davenport. All right, Avery T. Hey, Dan and the Duke Crew, exclamation point. Whatever happened to Oberjaro? And he used to play with Hutch at Michigan. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't heard his name in a while. Superstar Brad Holmes has been the best GM, not perfect, but dang good. DM5TV. I would agree with that. Kerry, Seahawks, Quentin Bahana, practice squad, 330 plus pounds. Yeah, he played with Detroit before, 6'4". And indeed, Lauren, Baltimore's defense will never be like Ed Reed and Ray Lewis era. Yeah, and I get Ray Lewis is a phenomenal player. I would also say this, in my opinion, Ed Reed made that defense, made things very flexible for a lot of the guys up front. They were both just generational players. Don Burr, Bahama was a line 2 years ago. Correct with that. Same old soup, reheated, tardy but present. Good to see you, my friend. Great day. Write Brad a letter and tell him how you feel. Well, see, we do that. Let's see. Miles Moore. He brought in Mahogany, DM5. There you go. Don Burr, Brad would laugh at the letter. Would he even read the letter? Dr. Detroit, but laughed every year, but we are coming up short too often, and people see it coming this season. Still going to be a good season, but if you want a Super Bowl, this ain't it. All right? Famous RW, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Back at you. Moonscar. Dallas defense corner, Matt Eberflus. So that shows what great decision-making that organization makes. All right? I actually didn't mind Eberflus from a defensive standpoint, but maybe he's not a great head coach. Jeremy, maybe Brad is waiting get a deal for a trade at the deadline. Maybe. It is possible. New money. I like that name. Been a Lions fan all my life. Y'all complaining, whine more while we win. When we were losing, lame as hex. How about that? Domber, Zadarius Smith. I don't know why they didn't sign him. There's got to be something in play there, I would think. Oops. Hold on. Something popped up on my screen here. 4.25 million. 3.45 million cap hit. Correct. New money, Don Burrow. What's your point? We'll find out. Gary, we'll see. My tongue falls off this week. Smith played well last week. All right. Let's see. Cynthia, good morning. Back at you. Good to see you. Bo Booth, AA and Monty, free agent acquisitions. Glasgow also came back free agent, just a few. He has made some good moves, hasn't he? Davin Glass. All right. Fair enough. It doesn't cost you much to have that glass, though. Lauren, middle school football starts in my area today. My son has his first game. I'll be running the chain gang. Hey, go enjoy it, my friend. Silent service DM5 TV complaining for no reason is a Gen Y thing. We'll find out. Gary, they had to horseshoe with Z. They had a horseshoe with Z. New money. Don Burr, have logic of Patriots just to be representing ish. We'll go with that. Let's see. Paperback fan greetings, salutations, Dooku. No mistake, and we got this upcoming game. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Bo Booth, water is wet. Facts. Hey, we got some facts flying. Johnny, good morning, everyone in the Dew Crew. Back at you, Ziggy and friends. Good morning, Captain Dan and Dew Crew All-Stars. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Hopefully having a good one. Mark, Z Smith, not a line. He's not a line, in fact. Hookadoo, Bo, I hate that dry water. You got to hate it, man. It's not wet, isn't it? Carrie, well done, a 500-degree oven, Bo. All right, we'll get a big oven heated, I guess. Pierce, Don Burt, Wrench, you think man spy on Monday? We'll find out. DM5, never new money. Miles Marker, I'm not happy. The team is winning. Kind of the point, ain't it? Question mark. At the rest is ceremonial. All right. Leo, I think we could be as good as the 98 Vikings and 99 Rams on offense. There's probably a lot of truth there. New money, the rookie looking our best lineman who been more consistent. Prove me wrong. We'll see what we can. Until, let's see, just win. No excuses, my boy. We'll try to avoid the excuses. Moneybags 11, we will get after Lamar. I think so too. Moonscar, contain. Let's see if we can. JD, what up, though? I think Zary Smith thought he was entitled to be a Lion, and I think Rob Bradholm's Dan Campbell the wrong way. Yeah, it could be. We'll find out in time. What's up with Vaki? His hamstring still healing. Derek, we will continue to neglect the lack of depth on the offensive line. Well, they did sign someone yesterday, so that helps some. Gary, got to keep Lamar uncomfortable the whole game. Let's see if they do. Till then, to answer the person who asked why they run St. Brown, it is because it works and it keeps the defense honest and it gets first downs. Pretty simple. Yeah, if it works, why change it? Phil, could Jack Campbell play some edge? He could. He did his rookie year for the Lions. And I think he did okay, not great. Sir, I wonder, will there be more plays drawn up for Isaac the Worm? Something other than a 50-50 ball? We'll find out. Only time will reveal. Pat, I think we save Isaac for this game. No tape on the kid. I think we will be targeted this game. We'll find out, and he can run block. Phil, Reynolds is dependable. Vaki is always hurt. He does seem like that. Until the bum, we need to shut down the run against the Ravens. I would agree with that. Phil, is Hutch getting too beat up? I don't think so. No injury reports on him yet. Mary Smith, I'm with you. Coach Dan, I'm with you. I'm never going to say we're going to lose. Yeah, it's just not my nature. I don't walk into anything thinking I'm going to fail. Let's see. Silver Server. Phil, Jack Campbell has proven not very efficient at edge. Maybe indeed. Bo, happy trails, new crew, all done and dusted for a day. See you later. We'll see you then. Until you can't teach grit. You cannot indeed. Phil, Tesla is known for catching better with one hand than two. They have to force him to use two hands, and we'll go with that. Brian, good morning, everyone. My question is, we heard the Hutch Rural training camp, but he was tearing it up. I saw nothing good yesterday. I got a sack or two against a tired and weak Chicago Bears. Hey, better than him not getting sacks then, I guess. I meant Sunday. Yeah, I knew you were going with that, man. Patrick, man, hey, haven't seen you in a long time. Biggest problem with Chicago is that they don't have Brad Holmes and can spoil talent. Hey, they are seemingly messing up some talent. Henry, I think the defense will show up and slow down the Ravens. Let's do that. Gary, happy trails and hump day. Stay safe, everyone. Go Lions. Woo, back at you. Brian, Luce is a great defense coordinator and one of the best defensive coaches ever. I'll take that. Green, I bet anything Talik Williams have a monster game and we beat Baltimore by more than 7 points. I like the way you're thinking. Henry Moore, have a glorious day and stay safe, everyone. Go Lions. We'll see you next time. Miles Martin, hope you guys have a good game. Good luck, Lauren Van Esch. Kurt Steele, see you guys on the Boss Up Ball channel now. We'll see you soon. Jay, Maisie Smith would be a great addition. I would not be sad by it at all. Phil, my favorite water is green and bubbly. Say do on it. Hey, I agree with you there. Sir, you are correct, Coach. We are scared of Baltimore, but I also agree with you. No fear at all, man. You go out there and you win games. Miles Martin, one pride, 1-1. Coach! Exclamation point. Love the show. Tired to people always running their mouths about Brand Holmes. Would you rather have Bob Quinn? Go Lions. Nathan Blanket. Yeah, I'm down with you there. Be thankful for what you have. Dennis, good morning, and back at you. See, Dre, glad players aren't scared of Baltimore. Yeah, that's the other part of it, too. Phil, just throw the ball 5 yards out of bounds. Tesla will find it. He might actually just go get it. Till then, good morning, Broski Barrett. Attila the bum. All right? Silver Server. Doug Speedman, I don't even know why I answer you. I wrote I want to see Baki on the field to finally see what he can do. Simple, right? Question mark. Saying you argue with it. All right. Well, hey, let's end the arguments. Hey, guys, be kind before you check it out. If you would be, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, go enjoy your day. Be a good person. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.